guys, it's Lindsay from thetoastedpinenut.com. Today we are making the best cookie skillet of your life. I'm not exaggerating. It is crisp and delicious around the edges, gooey, melty cookie dough in the center, and we are topping it off with melty, delicious vanilla ice cream that just kind of oozes and goozes, goose is a word, into the cookie skillet. I love this recipe. It is a staple in our house. My kids always ask for a cookie skillet, and I'm super excited to make this recipe. I've shared this recipe before, but I need new pictures for the blog post, so I figured I would make another video, reshare it, and take pictures along the way. So what we are gonna do is start out with our ingredients. It is so simple. It's almost too easy. It's dangerously easy because once you have the ingredients, they're pretty much stocked in your pantry and in your fridge, and you can just whip it together whenever you want. It comes together in under 30 minutes and you will be making it all the time and eating it all by yourself. I am talking from experience. All right, so let's jump into the recipe. What we have in here is 1/2 cup of butter. I melted it in the microwave. It's totally okay if you melt it. You don't want it to be super hot, but it's okay if it's a little melty. So 30 seconds, 20 seconds in the microwave is perfect. Ideally, you would want room temperature butter, but if you're in a pinch, microwaving it for a little 20-second is totally fine. So 1/2 cup, and then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. So this is going right into the bowl with the butter. We're also gonna do a splash of vanilla, which is about 1 teaspoon. I just eyeball it, but you can totally measure it out if you want. And finally, 1 egg for all of the wet ingredients. Okay, so I am just gonna whisk this together. I'm gonna kind of aggressively whisk it. Is that aggressively whisk it? But if you want to use an electric mixer, you totally can. You could also use a food processor, that works too. So just whisk it all together until it is creamed and kind of fluffy and combined. I've tried many cookie skillets in my life, and this one is by far my favorite. I think it has a lot to do with the gooey, delicious middle and the crispy golden brown edges. All right, this is beautifully combined. I have an itch on my nose. Now we are going to add in the blanched almond flour. So I love blanched almond flour because it's the perfect color. If you use almond meal, it's a little darker, so it has a really great color. Also, the blanched almond flour is a much finer texture than almond meal. So try to go for almond flour, but if you do have almond meal and you're in a pinch and you just want yourself a cookie skillet, go for it. Just keep in mind it's gonna have more of a hearty texture, more of a rustic texture. The last thing I'm adding is some salt and baking soda, so that's going right in, and whisk it up. It smells like cookies already. The last step is I'm gonna use 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. 1/2 cup is a lot, so feel free to pull back if you don't love tons of chocolate chips in your cookie skillet. I'm gonna put about 2/3 of this in and save the remaining for sprinkling on top of the skillet. Perfect. And just fold this together. So just fold those chocolate chips into the cookie dough batter, and then we're gonna put it into our skillet. So I think this is an 8-inch skillet, and you want an oven-proof skillet. If you have a cast iron skillet, that would work too. If you have a bigger than 8-inch skillet, you might want to double this recipe because you don't want it to be super thin. But this is the perfect size. It's about the size of my hand. So you want it to be oven-proof. You don't want your pan melting or anything like that. And if you're using a cast iron skillet, a cast iron pan, just make sure you well grease it with butter or oil or whatever you want to grease it with. And then we're going to use our spatula just to kind of smooth it down into the bottom and press it into the sides of the skillet. Perfect. Then we're going to take our remaining chocolate chips and just sprinkle those on top, because you always need some extra chocolate chips on top. And then you want to bake this for about 15 minutes until the edges puff up and the top is set. I personally like to underbake it a little bit, so bake it for 20 minutes if you like it to be a little bit more set and cooked through. If you like it gooey, kind of go for more 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, it is hot out of the oven, it is melty, it is gooey, it is chocolatey. I put 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream on top. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Now I get to take a bite, which is my favorite part. Whoa. Whoa. You guys. It is gooey. It's basically like eating warm chocolate chip cookie dough with a crisp outer layer and top and some melty ice cream on top. It is so good. I hope you guys make this recipe. I hope you love it. I am linking to the entire recipe on my blog down below, so head down there if you want to make this cookie skillet for yourself and enjoy it and eat the entire thing. I will not judge you. Thank you so much for baking along with me. I am Lindsay from thetoastedpinenut.com. Come hang out with me on Instagram at thetoastedpinenut, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.